Hi everybody, welcome back to DayZ, and in this video I wanted to talk about how to use a really fantastic tool on the DayZBoosterz.com website that allows you to create custom gameplay files, cfggameplay.json files, relatively easily. So if you're not familiar with this already, there's a file on our servers for console and PC called cfggameplay. And CFG Gameplay can change things like player stamina, how fast you can run, what the air temperature is on your server. It can also do things like when you look at a tourist map, can you see a marker on it to show you where you are, and a few other things as well. And the actual file itself, if you download it off your server, kind of looks a bit like this. So it can look a little bit intimidating when you're first starting off, but it's incredibly powerful. So what we're going to do first is I'm just going to show you how you can turn this file on to start off with, so that it will work when you create a custom one, and I'm going to show you where it is. Now, the way that DayZ works on PC is that there's two files that normally control what CFG Gameplay does. There's the serverdz.config file, which is in the advanced settings on Nitrado, and also the init.c file. Now on console we don't have access to those, so that's why the DayZ devs created cfggameplay.json so that we would have access to that. So let's take a look so you can kind of understand more. So if we go over to, say, a PlayStation server on Nitrado, and we go to the settings on the server and we scroll down, what you want to make sure is near the bottom you have enable cfggameplay.json ticked, and then you save that and then restart the server. Then if you go into your file browser and then you go into DayZ missions or PS missions for PlayStation, XB missions for Xbox, just missions for PC, and it will be Chernarus for Chernarus, Enoch for Livonia. If you scroll down for these files, you'll see there is cfggameplay.json, so that's where it lives. That's where that file lives. On PC, it's slightly different in the fact that what you've got to do on Nitrado, you've got to go to expert settings, and in expert settings we then get access to the serverdz.config file. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you should see a line that probably says enable CFG gameplay equals 0, so you want to change that to 1. Or if you can't see it at all, just put that line in there. Enable capital C, little f, G, capital G, aimplay, capital F, IL space equals space 1 semicolon, and that's there. And then the actual where's the file browser? Then the actual file itself, excuse me, if we go into the file browser and then we go into the missions folder, as you'll see, and then we go into Chernarus. We scroll down, CFG Gameplay. It's in the same place as it would be on the console server. So what you could do is with either of these, you could hit the little green button there and you could download it, and you could open it up in your favorite text editor, and you could look through and you could go, ooh, I can change some of these things and get stuck in. Or if you go over to DayZBoosterz.com, and I'll put a link in the description below this video, and you click on the generators and then click on the gameplay generator file, link, that will then take you to here. And this is really cool. And again, at the top it just says make sure that for console and PC that you've enabled the CFG gameplay file. So let's go through the various settings that we could use, that we can change. So under the general settings, we could disable base damage. We could disable container damage, so that's tents and barrels. Disable the respawn dialog. So basically, as soon as they die and they respawn, they respawn automatically. Disable a UI dialog window in which the player selects the type of respawn they wish to perform under pressing the respawn button. Under player data, we could have unlimited stamina. Woohoo! We could disable the personal light, so that means that at night it really is dark. We could take the hit indicators off, you know, when you get whacked and you get those blood markers on the screen, or you could change the colour of them. You can reset the movement to 1.18 movement. As I say, some people prefer that, but that's really it's to do with momentum. But I think the movement's fine. Base building, we can have build anywhere. Now this is really cool for things like when you're making a base, and let's say you make it next to a tree, and then the kit hologram starts to clip through the tree and it won't let you add any more stuff to it, and you're like, ugh. Also, you can't, without this activated, you can't stack fences, so you can't make a double height fence. So build anywhere is really cool. When that came to console, because the PC players had a way to do it with different mods, but when that came to console, this transformed the way that we can make bases. And what they've done is the garden plot will remain disabled, and that's important because people use garden plots to as an exploit to get into bases in a way that you shouldn't be able to. And then also, you can also there's underground restrictions. And I would say add all these to this. It really just applies to Livonia, but the idea of having these restricted is that it stops people being able to build in the underground bunker in Livonia, so people can't like fence off the bunker so that nobody else can get into it. Map markers, so this is to do with the tourist map. So again, if you have this ticked, when you open up a tourist map, it will show you where you are without having to own the GPS receiver or the compass. World data, so this is temperatures. So what you could do is you could say, okay, so that's all the standard temperatures, and then you could adjust them so you can make it colder a little bit. Don't go mad, but say take 5 degrees off to make things more difficult. Or you could even make it hotter. So in fact, in the hotter months of the year, your character would actually have to take their clothes off. And then when you get to finalize, you got download CFG gameplay. That will then get downloaded to your downloads folder on your PC. And then all you need to do is just go back to your server, click upload that cfggameplay.json. Now in my case, in fact I might as well do it, upload file. Downloads CFG gameplay. Let's open that up. There we go. And then what I would do now is I would rename cfggameplay.json to cfggameplaybackup.json, and then I would rename cfggameplay6 to cfggameplay.json, and that would then replace that one, but I would still have the old one as a backup. And then just restart my server, and there it is. It's easy as that. Now, although this is an absolutely fantastic tool, what I would suggest you do is after you've been through this and you kind of understand what it's doing and you've used it and you've tested that it works, please open up the proper cfggameplay.json file and just read through it and see how it works, because you are going to be using cfggameplay.json for some other things as well. You're going to be using it for spawn gear preset files. So these are the files that you can create that mean that when a new player spawns in on the beach at Chernarus, you can have it so they've got weapons with them or different clothes and things like that. Also, within the CFG gameplay, you use the object spawner array section to spawn in custom buildings and custom, towns and villages and all sorts of wonderful things that you can do. So there's other things that it can do as well. And so as you become more familiar with this file, you'll understand the other things that it can also achieve. That you can use. But as a start, the gameplay generator from DayZBoosterz is absolutely fantastic, or DayZBoosterz, I guess they would say it. So well done. That is absolutely fantastic work by the guys over there. So thank you very much. And remember, the link's in the description below the video. If you enjoyed this one, hit like. If you want to be on the same, press subscribe. And of course, I'll see you again soon.